Hi, my friends. Leo Babauta here from Zen Habits, and I'm so happy to be here with you. In this video, I'm going to talk about something that I have been personally working on, and it is a big focus of mine this year, which is two words, and those words are egoless action. So I think that this can unlock a lot for us in terms of taking action where we might feel some fear or resistance or self-doubt or uncertainty. It can help us to move towards our meaningful, purposeful life, towards our purposeful work, purpose projects. Um, and so if that's you and you're having trouble, egoless action might be the thing for you. And it's something that I'm experimenting with myself. So let's talk about what it is, how it unlocks a lot for us, and then how to actually practice it. Okay, what is egoless action? Well, we're going to contrast it with ego like based action. Ego based is what do I need to do to um, help myself, serve my interest, satisfy my desires, make myself comfortable, not make myself look bad. So that would be ego-based action. So, examples of that are like, how do I make sure my hair looks good? I love doing that with my hair. I have little ones. You can't see it. But how do I make sure my hair looks good? Otherwise, people are going to think something about me, or I'm going to feel dumb or whatever. So that's a bit of a funny example, but like, do I want to put my content online where people might judge it? And so I might really like resist doing something where I might look bad, and then I might try and do something that's gonna like help me to look good. I want to like share like my glamorous lifestyle with people so that they think I look good. That's ego-based action. Now, as I say this, it might sound like that's something we don't want to do. It's like bad, right? And so we might have a lot of judgment for ego-based action. But we want to remove the good or bad, the judgment from this. And what we want to just notice is it's simply a focus. It is action that comes from a focus on myself and how I look. We might imagine that we all have an image of ourselves that we want to be and that we want others to see us as. Maybe we want others to see us as a good person morally. Maybe we want us to be seen as generous or someone who like fights for the underprivileged. Maybe I want to be seen as someone who has a lot of wisdom or intelligence or very competent or powerful or um, serves others. And so this is how I want to be seen, either by myself or others or both, right? There's an image that I want to project to others and that I would want to like see myself as, and it would feel good to me to see that myself that way. And it would feel good if others see me that way. And it would feel terrible if they see me some other way, as instead of smart, they see me as dumb. Instead of competent, they see me as incompetent. And so, I don't want to do that, and therefore I need to protect that image by only doing things a certain way or avoiding other things. And so this is ego-based action. It's a focus on how I look to myself or others. It's what will make me comfortable. It's satisfying my own desires and cravings. And it's simply a focus. And let's dispense of all the judgment because every one of us does that all the time. Like we are constantly doing ego-based actions. And I would say this is universal, every human. If you're watching this and you're like, I don't do ego-based action, that's probably because you have a um, self-image that you aren't egotistical. And you're like, I am so selfless. That's actually an example of ego-based action. We all do it. We're human. We want to look good. We want to feel good about ourselves. We want others to think good things about us. It's simply a human characteristic. Now, what is egoless action? Egoless action is not focused on that. And so it's just a different focus. Instead of looking this way, I'm looking that way. And it isn't like looking this way is good and this way is bad. It's just a different focus. And different focuses, in a movie, if you're like had a camera and you're like, we're going to focus really closely on this person's face versus zooming out and seeing the entire landscape, those are neither one of those is better than the other. It's actually like what will serve the story that I'm telling? What will serve the purpose of this movie? What will look beautiful? What will have an emotional impact that I'm looking to have? And so either one of these can be the that I choose, but it's just like depending on the art that I'm trying to make here in this film or in my life. So we have different focuses, different purposes, different effects. Egoless action is a focus instead of on myself, it is on something bigger than myself. That could include myself. It's not that I am unimportant. It's that there are other things that are important as well as myself. So for example, I might think about my family, which includes me, right? So me and them together. If I have a focus on them and I take action from that focus, that is egoless action. So I might think like, what is going to serve the group? My family, my friend group, my organization, the world, my community, my neighborhood, my city, my some association that I'm affiliated with, some group of people. It might not even include me. I might put my focus instead on my partner, my mom, my daughter, my coworker, my boss, my neighbor. So I can have a focus on other. I can have a focus on a group. It could be a stranger. I could be thinking about everybody who is facing loss in their lives or who are going through natural disaster or who's facing a chronic illness. That is a focus on other, um, even faceless people who I don't even know. And so I can take action with that focus. So, for example, with my family, I might be like, you know what? I'm going to cook dinner tonight. Not because it's the thing that's going to serve me or make me look good, but because we all want to eat. And it would be really nice to serve the group. Now, cooking dinner could be self-focus as well, right? Like I can do cook dinner because I'm craving spaghetti, or I could cook dinner because I want people to think nice things about me as a parent. That could be ego-based action, or egoless would be like I care about this group and I'm going to do it out of love. If I have a focus on, let's say, people who are facing hardship in their lives, and I take action from that place, how do I maybe record a video that can help people who are facing that hardship? How do I, go out and help them who are with the hardships they're facing? That's action based on the focus of a group of people facing a similar struggle. And so we can take a lot of actions from that place. Now, what is the point of this? Well, egoless action, um, it can help us to connect to a reason that is different than just ourselves. And in doing so, it can help us to move through resistance. So, for example, if I am really struggling to, um, you know, create a website for something that has a bigger purpose, and I'm worried about like how I might look, and so I'm really struggling, I'm really resisting creating that website. What if I'm like, oh, but if I do this website, it's actually going to help all of these people who I really care about, and that might help me to actually take action on that website. One other note about egoless action, which is sometimes you might not even have a focus on anybody else, but you also might not have a focus on yourself. And so instead of focusing on yourself or others, you might have no focus on anyone. And it's just like at one point I had a focus on others. I need to take these steps. But right now, all I'm going to do is take the steps without thinking about myself or others. So, for example, I am right now sewing a Zen rakasu, which is like a little robe thing, which I have to sew. Um, and as I do so, I dedicated this sewing to all who are suffering, all beings. And so there's a bigger reason than myself. It's egoless based action. But then when I do the sewing, I might think about all beings, but I might also just do the stitching. It's just stitching. No concern for myself, no focus on others. It's just stitching. And it's just like, just make the rice, just carry the water, just do the laundry. We're just doing the actions without focusing on ourselves or others. Now, I do think it helps to have focus on others as you set out to do the action. But then as you're doing it itself, you could actually drop both of those focuses and just focus on taking the action without adding extra layers of, oh, this is about me or this is about anything else other than the action itself. So in Zen meditation, we have a thing called just sitting. And that is it's just sitting in meditation. And all I'm doing is sitting. I'm not adding extra like, oh, I need, I'm doing this right, or I suck, or, like this is for all beings. I'm just sitting. There's no extra meaning added to it. And this requires us to notice when we are actually adding that extra layer. When we are doing the ego-based actions, like, oh, I'm making this all about me. What if I could notice that and then just do the action? And in this way, it really simplifies any kind of undertaking. If I want to make that website, if I want to write a book, if I want to make content online, if I want to knit some yarn, if I want to, garden, I can do egoless action, which is maybe doing it for something other than not just myself, but then taking the action without needing to add anything extra. It's just action. And when you do that, it's a meditation. It's actually incredibly peaceful. And so we can practice this way by, first of all, noticing where is my focus as I take on a project or a task or chore or exercise. Where is my focus? Is it on me? Is it on other? Is it on me and other at the same time? And then as I actually go through and do the action, I can actually practice dropping all meaning and just take the action. Very simple, not so easy to do. I encourage you to practice with this and just see what it's like. It can be very, very enlightening. With that, I'm going to ask you to like this video to help others find it. More likes means the others get to see it in their algorithm. Subscribe also helps. Comment also really helps. And also, I love hearing from you. It really helps me. I read every single comment. I don't reply as timely as I'd like to, but I do reply to every comment, at least with an emoji, just to let you know I'm reading it. And then share this with others who could use some Zen habits in their lives. Thanks, my friends.